Hi, this is Poster Girl. Welcome to Band Wives, a show about the wives, lovers, and significant others and the musicians they love, hate, and tolerate. But mostly, it's about their lives, interests, and passions. This is the stage for those of us off stage, the biggest fans, the ones always there in the background. And today we get to hear from the lovely Kristyn Dedmon. Yes, the one who is closest to Cleveland County's Kevin Dedmon of Dirty Grass Soul. So I'm super excited to talk with you today, Kristen, especially since this is the first time you and I have officially met face to face. So how are you doing today?
I'm doing well. Doing really good. I'm excited to be here.
Great. Well, we are, as I said, very excited to have you here. And as you know, this is kind of your forum to talk about whatever you want to talk about and your passions and things. So why don't you kind of just tell everyone a little bit about you, a little bit about your history, your background, maybe even how you and Kevin met, okay. And you came to be a band wife.
Okay. Well, I am, I'm originally from Kings Mountain. Now we live here in Shelby. I am a pharmacist and a mother of one. We have one on the way.
Congratulations. That's awesome.
Yes,
awesome.
We're excited.
So tell everyone the ages of your kids.
Kristen is 2.5. He'll
Okay.
be 3 at the end of September.
Okay.
And then this baby will be due January 13th. So,
Kixon's in for a big old treat coming up. He won't know what to expect.
He's so excited right now. We'll see how that goes when the baby's actually here.
I have children and grandchildren now, and my experience is that it's great and it's terrible for them. They'll have a love-hate relationship.
Yeah. Yes. And I'm a pharmacist, so I work 12-hour shifts and long days. So going to the shows, I don't get to go as much as I once did, but I get to go a decent amount.
Okay.
And Kevin and I met through a mutual friend. His name was Peter Wilkins, and I worked with him at a pharmacy in the summers when I was in pharmacy school, and in college I worked at an independent pharmacy, and he worked there.
Here in Cleveland County?
It was actually in Gastonia.
All right. Not too far.
Is where we worked, Prescriptions Plus. And I had a date with another guy.
Okay.
And I was like, I really don't want to go. I just wasn't interested.
Right.
And so I went and asked Peter. I said, help me. I need to break this date. You got any advice? How can I do this? And he's like, oh. And he gave me advice on how to do that. And then he says, I got somebody you need to meet. And he and Kevin showed cows together when they were little.
Yeah, as children. Yes.
So years and years ago. So it was really random that he thought of Kevin. But he showed me his picture.
Maybe not random. Maybe fate.
Maybe fate. I guess it was.
Yes.
And so he showed me his picture, and I was like, oh, yeah, I want to meet Kevin.
All right.
So he got it set up on Facebook, and then we messaged back and forth, and then the rest is history. So here we are. Mm-hmm. And Peter also set up my brother-in-law and his wife, which is
Kevin's brother.
Yes, Chris.
Okay.
And his wife.
Well, maybe Peter needs to. He has another job, another career.
Yeah, he does. He has a gift for sure. So
that's a very good story.
Yeah, it is. It is. We're very thankful for Peter.
Yes.
All of us are.
As you should be.
Yeah.
And he was a pharmacist at the place that you were working?
He was a technician.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. My dad was a pharmacist.
Really?
So it's been a lot of years.
Yeah.
He retired a long time ago, of course. But I'm familiar with those long hours and working on the weekends and things like that.
Yes, every other weekend.
But 12 hours is a long day.
Yeah.
So do you work every day of the week, every other day? Is it kind of a set schedule?
It's an every other week. So, I'll work every other weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And then if I work the weekend, then I'm off Monday, Tuesday, and I would work Wednesday, Thursday that next week, and then be off the weekend.
On the
so
weekends.
It's every other week.
Okay.
So, but I would get off at 9 o'clock when Kevin and I first started dating. We started dating my last year of pharmacy school.
Okay.
So he was in his last year of undergrad. I was in my last year of pharmacy school, so I got me a little bit younger man. But yeah, so
he'll catch up with you. Don't worry about it.
I feel like I had to train him right.
That's right.
You know?
So he was a blank. He was a blank slate.
Yes, I had to mold him. So when I would first get off, when we first dated and he was first married, I would work 12 hours. Then I would leave and go wherever he was playing, whether it was an hour away, hour and a half. It didn't matter. I was there.
Okay.
And I'd stay there till like 2 and 3 in the morning and then leave and do it again the next day. So I don't know how I did that.
To be young and no kids and unattached and all that.
And I did that for years. Like I was at every show for years. Like probably 5 years. Mm-hmm. And then it's like, okay, would I rather just go home and sleep or rest? So, and then especially when I had kicks, and then that kind of definitely
does change.
So we just
the dynamics.
It does. It's amazing how quickly it changes.
Instantaneous.
Yeah.
So he had already started with Dirty Grass Soul when you guys.
He had. We started dating in 2013, and I think their first show was in 2012. I believe. Okay. I know it was Kevin's 21st birthday was Dirty Grass Soul's first show. So I can't remember exactly what year, but it was a
pretty close one there. So that's what a very cool milestone to have for your birthday. So some of this, of course, does. We are talking about Kevin and his Dirty Grass Soul career. But so tell me a little bit what it's like to hear him and see him play and perform. What as the person, as his biggest fan, which you are, what kind of goes through your mind whenever you are sitting back and watching that, and how has that changed over the years?
Yeah. Well, I'm so proud of him, and really I'm amazed. Mm-hmm. Like it just amazes me that he can do the things that he can do, because I'm more of a math and science, like numbers kind of girl. Yes. He is the very much artistic and musical, and I don't have that, so I can't wrap my head around it. So to watch him do his thing is really amazing for me, and I'm really proud of him. He loves what he does.
That is very apparent that he does.
Yes, he loves it. His energy and everything. It's really amazing for me to watch, and I'm really proud. And I'm really proud of that he's always true to himself when he's on the stage or who he is as a person. He doesn't try to be somebody he's not when he's up there, and that makes me proud.
Kevin's at home. Same Kevin at home. Same Kevin on stage.
Mm-hmm.
So, that is because I'm sure that it can be easy to lose yourself in that sometimes.
Right, and that was a big fear of mine going in when we started dating. I never wanted to, and ideally my future, when I thought about my future, it was never dating a musician or, God forbid, marrying a musician. It wasn't in my plan, and God always laughs at our plans, and
as we plan, he laughs.
Exactly. So that was never in my plan, and the main reason I was fearful of it because of the lifestyle and all that comes with it, and I was really terrified at that. And but now that I'm in it, and I see that Kevin, he's trustworthy. He is who he is all the time. Yes. I don't have to worry about it, and it's fine. Like now, it's enjoyable. We have a lot of good times.
A good time with it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So,
well, it's not a traditional or typical. There's not a lot of people that are in the situation that you're in, and then the situation that he's in, and things. So it's not always like you can kind of see that from either. It's not the same as maybe your parents' relationship, and how their whatever their career paths were, or anybody that you see. So it's understandable that it's especially if you're a numbers person, which I'm guessing that means that you really like to have, okay, I want to see this quantified and see this on paper.
I very much am.
That's not as easy to do. Don't know how much you know, but so my husband, Chris, is a musician too, and he does the same things, has said the same things with me in terms of, now he does not perform the same way. Kevin has an energy and a style of performance. Chris is very different. But just how they can hear things sometimes and then say, okay, we're going to do this.
Right.
Or like lyrics, I will just write it this way.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't come to me like that.
Kevin can be listening to the radio, driving down the road, and can play it when we get home. How do you do that?
That is a talent. It's a gift. It's a gift.
He's very gifted, for sure.
Does Kixon show any interest at all? He's youngin', but...
Yes. He actually, it's funny that you asked that because he had his guitar. He has 4 guitars.
Okay.
You know, 3 are like the little play guitars, one's a ukulele.
Right.
And he gets his little keyboard, his little toy keyboard, and he puts it at his foot as his pedal board.
Okay.
and then he gets his guitar, and
That's
he'll hit the pedal board, and he'll play his guitar, and he's got a microphone.
Okay.
Just a toy microphone.
Mm-hmm.
So when I left this morning, he had his toy microphone set up. He had his stuffed animals watching him play.
He's got to have the audience.
Got to have the audience. And then he had his guitars. He had all 3 of them sitting there with him. It's hilarious. And my mom actually just got him a drum set.
Oh, wow.
And so he has been banging the heck out of that drum set.
Yes.
And he loves it. But I left that at her house. I was like,
hey, that's the deal with grandparents. They get to buy whatever they want. But you as the parent get to decide if you take it home.
Yes, exactly. I was like, I think I'll let
your
you.
House, Mom.
Yeah. So, but he loves that. He loves going to his daddy's shows. He has.
I'm sure.
Have you ever seen my pictures of him on Facebook where he's got his Dirty Grass Soul attire on?
Yes.
Is what he calls it.
Mm-hmm.
It's his cowboy, a pearl snap button shirt, his blue jeans, his cowboy boots, and his cowboy hat. And that's his Dirty Grass Soul. He says, I want to wear Dirty Grass Soul. Well, okay. So we have to wear that about every day.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yes.
I think it's sweet and adorable. You'll go back and look at those pictures and think, oh, look at my baby.
I know. He's already growing too fast.
He is. So, what do you have a favorite Dirty Grass Soul song? Whether it's original or cover?
I have a couple.
Okay.
I have my favorite is probably Cowboy.
Okay.
Kevin's. It's pretty new.
Yes.
But I just think it's such a good song. And there's so many that I'm just like, wow, this is really good. And then Glory Train is one of my favorites. Edge of Mexico is one of my favorites. There's lots.
So do you get in the car and turn on the, plug it in, pull up your Spotify or whatever and play Dirty Grass Soul?
If I'm being completely honest, no, because I hear these songs.
You do?
All the time. So I need a little break when I'm in my car. Don't tell Kevin I said that.
Between us.
Yeah.
In thinking about his role kind of a little bit, as your role really as band wife, how do you see yourself supporting Kevin's dream? Do you where do you think that you fit in the most in that?
Well, I feel like with a lot of band or musicians' wife, maybe not a lot, but I think it would be helpful for Kevin if I had any kind of musical talent and he could bounce things off of me and I could help in that way. But I can't. I cannot do it. He's asked me to help him write songs before, and I want to so bad, but I cannot do it. And so that is, I wish that I could help in that respect. But my role is more of, have you done, like making sure that he's doing what he's supposed to do? Have you emailed this guy back? Have you texted him? Such and such called. Will you call back? Because his phone, he has about 400 unread text messages.
Oh, I can imagine.
I'm sure. So I guess it's just overwhelming for him. And so a lot of times people will contact me, which you probably have the same thing.
I do a little bit. But
so
not as
they'll
much.
call me and text me because they know I'll answer.
Right.
I don't have 400 unread text messages, so it's a little easier for me to get back with people. And then I try to get on him and say, hey, you need to do this, you need to do that. So I help with that. For years, I sold merch, and I still will, like whenever we need an order, people will tell me, luckily now we have Michelle Trammell and Derek Bell and Michelle Bell that are selling our merch for us, and it's a huge help.
Oh, gosh, it's got to be.
For a while, like I was going to every show, so I was able to do it.
Mm-hmm.
But then when I wasn't going to the shows there for a while, we didn't really have anybody selling our merch. And that's a big money maker.
Part of it. And it's hard for them to do on the stage.
It's too much, and it's stressful.
During the breaks.
Yeah. So when Michelle came along and said, hey, well, I'll do this for you. So then they'll come and tell me, okay, we need to order this, we need to order that. And then, so I would say I'm more of a manager type support system.
Yeah.
And whenever he writes a song, he'll play it for me, and I'll tell him, give him the best feedback I can. I mean, it's not, I don't know that much, but I try to give him the best feedback.
Don't say that about yourself, because I always say, you know what, I'm kind of the average listener. So
True.
if you can hook me sometimes, or, I would be thinking more like, well, what would just the regular person, not the musician, be thinking?
That's a good point, because Kevin will get so torn up a lot of times if the show's not absolutely perfect. If a wrong note was played, and I don't hear that. I'm like, you don't need to worry, because I guarantee you that 98% of those people out there have no idea that anything went wrong.
I don't think they do either. So, and then sometimes even if you hear something, you've forgotten it
by the end. Yeah, but Kevin, it sticks in their heads.
So, I understand that, but that's part of what makes them tick and gives them that ability to have that kind of performance and energy. So.
Right.
Well, let's shift things just a little bit here, since we've talked a lot about how you've worked with and how you and Kevin have become a match set. But let's talk about you as an individual in that a little bit. So, what would you like for people to think of when they think of you? When they think of Kristen?
And that's a hard question.
Kristen the lady, Kristen the woman. I know it is a hard question.
I'm better at answering things about Kevin. I just want people to look at me and think that I'm approachable, and I'm kind, and I'm not. Mm-hmm. I don't want people to ever think that I think somebody that I'm not. I just want to be me. I want people to know me, and I'm nice. I'm thankful for our fans and for everybody that comes to the shows and supports the band and supports us. So I just want people to think I'm nice.
That's part of you.
Yeah.
I mean, well, that's a very good way, and an interesting thing that you've said, because even, you are visible in some ways, so you don't know, it's nice for people to be able to look at you and see you for who you are and what you want to exude and represent. And so thank you for sharing that. I appreciate that. Yeah. In terms of the things that sort of make you tick and your passions for things, you've already talked about being a numbers girl. Mm-hmm. You like math, and as a pharmacist, you sure get to do some math in that, and of course the whole chemistry behind how all of those medications and things work. But tell me a little bit about it. And I did do a little bit of checking, so I know. You have a little bit of a sports background too, don't you?
I sure do, and I miss it so much.
You mean you're not running track at your house around a 3-year-old?
No, I wish. I am actually outside. We run all the time. He's like, "Mommy, run, Mommy, run." There you go. But so when I was in high school, I played all through, I guess, from the age of 10 years old. I played softball. Mm-hmm. Travel ball every weekend from the age of 10 until 18. Mm-hmm. That was my life, and that was, I loved it so much. I miss it. I see pictures of my friends that have kids now that are doing what I did all those years. I miss it. I want to go back. That was all I knew. That was my life, just playing sports. We It was about every weekend. Here and there we had a weekend off, but kept me out of trouble. I was with my parents all the time.
You were busy all the time.
Yes. So I think it's wonderful for everybody to be involved.
And it was soft. But did you play every position? Or?
I played third base and I pitched. I was a pitcher from the age of 10 until 18. I did not pitch in college. I did play at Catawba College for 4 years, but I didn't pitch in college. I just played third in college.
Right.
And so my life from the age of 10 to 18 was me pitching, going outside with my daddy about every other day of my life. For 8 years. Yes, pitching. So it was a lot of time, a lot of practice, but me and my daddy were so close, and it was, I loved it. I loved every minute of it.
It was a great time. He was able to, y'all had that one-on-one time.
We did a lot of it.
That's special.
And my daddy coached our travel ball team. Kings Mountain Lightning was our names, and we were together from the age of 10 until 18.
Okay.
And so that whole team, we were all Kings Mountain girls, and so we went to high school together. And so we ended up winning back-to-back state championships, 2005 and 2006. It was so awesome. It was a good time.
I'll bet it was.
Yeah.
Memories forever.
Yes.
So. Yes. Well, maybe you'll get to and have some of those memories, or make new memories with your kids coming up.
Yes,
and
I'm looking forward to that.
Those kinds of things.
Yeah.
So, and I noticed. Let's say you went to Presbyterian College.
I did for pharmacy school.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yes.
So tell me what does Kixon play any sports? Is he doing anything
I'm putting
besides
ball,
running around your yard?
Yeah, I'm putting a ball in his hand as much as I can.
Okay.
Kevin was athletic, but and he played baseball up until I can't remember baseball, football, but then he got more into the music and he did theater and things like that. So he has both, and I want Kixon to be well-rounded like that, but I want him to play ball. Like, that is my goal. I want him to be a ball player. So I have a ball for him. We've got a tee and a bat. And my father-in-law he was so excited. He's always talks about my athlete and my sports because he is obsessed with baseball. So he is wanting Kixon to play ball so bad he can't stand it. And I'm like, I'm right there with you. We're going to make this happen.
So you've got another little ally with that
there
too.
Yes.
So. Well, did you do the fast pitch?
I did.
Softball?
Yes.
Woo! That's some serious stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, people say softball, but I'm not real sure it's soft.
Yeah.
You watch
No, it's
how
not.
Athletic women are, you guys are, that do that. It's pretty amazing. And I'm really glad that as time goes along, I mean, it used to be you just didn't see that much about women's sports and women's athletes. And it's a powerful force. And I like that we get to see a little bit more in our culture these days and recognize that that contribution is there.
Yeah.
So, read a couple other little things that you had too. You've got some quotes that I had seen. Yeah. So, of course, you have the verse about love is patient, which is a beautiful verse to have. But I just thought this one up here in 1,000 years and 1,000 tears. I come finding my original crew. I thought it was just beautiful, but I didn't know where did it come from.
So
do you remember?
It has been. Did you find it on Facebook?
I did.
So this has been on my Facebook since I first got Facebook, and this was a quote that I had. We had a group of like 10 best friends in high school.
Okay.
And this was our quote. I think it's a song, and I can't remember. I want to say it's OAR sang that song, if I'm not wrong. But this was just the quote that we had as our. I can read it. It's
that's fine.
In 1,000 years and 1,000 tears, I come finding my original crew, because to me, throughout eternity, there's somewhere we are welcome to go. I said it's something free that means a lot to me. When I'm with my friends, I feel home. So that was our quote as our friend group.
Like your mantra or your motto.
Yeah.
It's your group. So I thought it was beautiful. And it I wondered if it was something about, obviously, friendships, or if it was something that came from a group that you were part of. So it's certainly does speak to that.
Yes.
So tell me, are there any pet projects that you, besides being a full-time worker and parent and wife, that you kind of gravitate towards or try to think about or focus on or look at or hear about?
To be honest, there's really not. I feel like my life is work, being a mom, being a band wife.
Yes.
And we do have we live in a neighborhood that we have a really good group of neighbors that we're really close with, that we do a lot with.
That's awesome.
So that's always fun. I can't think of anything
right off the
I feel like maybe eventually I'll get to do things for myself and other people, but right now it's just Kevin and Kristen and me. So.
Well, and Kevin travels a good bit, so that puts you as the primary parent a lot of times whenever he's gone. So those kinds of things roll in and roll out in your life. So tell me a little bit more about your family. Do you have brothers and sisters? I see you have a brother.
I have two brothers.
Okay, two.
I have two younger brothers.
Okay.
One, he'll be 30 this year, and then one just turned 24, I think, in June. So I love them. We've always been really close growing up. Now, of course, as you get older, Trey, my middle brother, lives in Anderson, South Carolina now. He's married.
They live close by.
Yeah. So that's a haul. It's a long way. I've been to his house one time. He's been there. He's been married 3 years, I think, now, and I've made it up there once. So they come here a lot because they're both from Shelby, or Trey's from Kings Mountain, she's from Shelby, so they come here a lot.
Makes it a little bit easier for them to get this way.
It is. They're here for family a lot, so we get to see them a decent amount, not as much as I'd like. And then my baby brother he lives here in Shelby. He's not married yet. He works for Walmart Distribution Center, and Trey is an engineer for Milliken.
Yeah, that would be in that area.
Yeah. So he loves it. They're both doing great at their jobs. I'm proud of them. And then my parents actually live in my neighborhood, so that is
nice,
awesome.
Very,
they're such a huge help. So
I'm sure they are.
Yeah, I call my mom all the time. Hey, can you run up here and get Kristen, or can you help me do this? Can you help me do that? So it's very
easy
nice
to just start right over there.
Yes, and then Kevin's parents are just a mile down the road, so I do the same for them. And Kristen loves going over to the farm.
Okay.
So that's what he wants to do all the time.
He gets to be a farm boy.
Tractors, cows, the whole thing. He loves it. So
he's just going to have between the music and the animals and the farm equipment, and then of course the sports.
Yes, he's going to be well rounded. That's for sure.
Both of your kiddos.
Yes.
Really. So,
yeah.
Well, I always got this question that I've always found interesting to ask people, because it's sometimes it's the look on people's faces, which they won't be able to see the look on your face whenever I ask this, but it sort of encompasses anything, literally anything. So, but I want to know, what's your guilty pleasure? Inquiring minds would like to know. What is Kristen's guilty pleasure?
My guilty pleasure is chocolate.
Yes. That's a good one.
Food. That's mine.
And chocolate is the favorite food.
Yes, unfortunately.
Any particular, do you go, give me dark chocolate, give me sea salt chocolate?
I like it all. Probably my favorite candy is Reasons, and it's dark chocolate.
Okay.
So
Reasons.
Yes, you should try it if you've never tried it. I also love chocolate. Yeah.
On some days, it would be the answer that I would give to that. So I try not to taste anything that I'm going to be
all about.
Seeking out.
I know. You have to stay away.
So Kevin knows when he needs to get close to your heart to just buy you a box of
I don't ask for much. Don't ask for much. Just chocolates.
Just chocolates.
Yeah.
Well, so does that translate to everything, to chocolate ice cream, chocolate cake? the chocolate wine they have.
I've never had that, but I've heard about it, and I'm thinking I probably would like it if I tried it.
It's good. I like it. It is it's interesting, and especially if it's you'd want to do it in conjunction with some other kind of dessert like strawberries or even with a little bit of ice cream. It certainly does give it
I'm sure that sounds amazing.
A nice little twist.
Yeah. So I'm not a chocolate ice cream kind of girl, though. Okay. I am a chocolate cake. I would rather have cookies and cream, which has chocolate in it.
Yeah, it does.
So, yeah.
Okay. Well, everybody's tastes are different.
Yes.
So we'll have to chalk that one up to remember that chocolate is the way to. So if anybody needs Kristen to do anything, go buy her some chocolate.
Yes.
Well, Kristen, it has been an absolute pleasure getting to know you today.
Yes.
And if there's anything else that you want to say or ask or do, this is your time and your platform to do it. But I also know you're a super busy lady, and we don't want to keep you all day, even though we probably could come up with lots of other stuff to talk about and say. But I appreciate everything that you do for your husband, because there are many, many people that enjoy them. You are a big old part of that. It was wonderful meeting you.
Well, thank you. It's nice to meet you, too. Thanks for having me.
You are most welcome. Y'all have a good one. Thanks for listening to Bandwives. Look for our next episode. Until then, this is Poster Girl wishing you a beautiful, badass life.